Hello everyone, this is Lucy05 and welcome to the Comic Book Central Toy Review. And today's toy review, we're looking at the 2005 release by ToyBiz of the Spider-Man Classics action figure review. And today's action figure review, we're looking at the Ultimate Lizard. Now, I got this straight from a local toy shop near my area for 39 ringgit, and you'll notice this entire packaging is all beaten up. You notice this part here, and there's a lot of silicone tape all around the packaging itself. They punch a hole here so they can hook this up to a peg. My god. And as long as the figure is still intact, I'm still good to go. Now, the packaging itself, you'll notice there's only a Spider-Man artwork on the top, and here you got the figure itself with a separate tail, and hiding behind the figure you got the, well, you have to assemble the lab table, one of the gimmick they put on this figure itself, which I will explain later. And the bottom you got the word Spider-Man, Ultimate Lizard with breakaway lab table. You got the image of the Ultimate Lizard. Same goes at the back here, you got the image of the Ultimate Lizard, and the rest of the lineup. You got the Tail Strike Scorpion, Carnage, Morbius, the Ultimate Lizard, Ultimate Rhino, Green Goblin. Here, it's not a bio for the Ultimate Lizard, it's just stating about Spider-Man being popular for over 30 years and yada yada yada. And at the bottom part here, it shows you on how to assemble the lab table, as shown. And on the side here, his left waist, there's a button for you to push, so you can, once you assemble the tail onto the figure itself, you can whack his tail. And you can use the tail to whack the table to break it apart. Now, here you got this warning label stating, warning, choking hazard, small parts not for kid, bad grammar there, under 18 years. Now you're telling me a 17-year-old kid would actually wanted to swallow these parts? This is really highly unlikely. But anyways, I already babbled long enough. Let's open up this packaging so we can bless the toy. Be right back. And we're back after removing the figure and the rest of the stuff out from packaging. Now inside the packaging, it allows you to build this lab table, and it comes with 6 pieces, and it's easily detachable because it's part of the gimmick itself. So the lizard can use the tail whipping action to smack onto the table and will fall apart. Now the sculpt of it is rather simplistic. You got 3 textbooks there, the glass beaker, some lab equipment there, and 3 file folders. And it's not really well painted as well. It's not as detailed as compared to Scorpion's newspaper stand, but this is still alright. As if you're an adult, you're not going to play around with this, well, this table anyway, as you can see. So we'll put this on one side, and let's take a look at the figure's paint job. The paint job is actually really nicely done. Simplistic but very detailed. As you can see here, the eyes is very nicely done though. I really love the eyes there. And also this inside his jaws, all the teeth there is all painted, all the fangs and the tongue as well, very well painted stuff. And the torn shirt and pants. Scale of the lizard is also really nicely done with the shading and the shadow lines. Very nicely done. Really love the paint job. But the sculpt is absolutely amazing. Then again, this is ToyBiz work, so their work is always amazing, depending on the figure. All the scales are all sculpted. Very nicely done. All the details are there. All the muscles are shown here. All the veins are shown. Even the fingertips here. See, the claws are all painted. Very nicely done. I really love the detail on the head as well, especially when they even bothered to put a tongue under the jaw itself. Very nicely done. And if you notice at the top part of the jaw itself, very detailed stuff. All the small little details being put onto the figure. Bottom part of the feet itself, and the toes, the tail. But you will notice this part of the fin itself is sort of warped because it stayed in the packaging for a very long time. Very detailed stuff. Love the details. Now it comes with the gimmick of the tail whipping action, and you notice there's this big old peg sticking out, and the tail is actually a separate piece, like so. So all you have to do when you take out the figure out from the packaging, you just snap it on like so, and when you want to use the tail whipping action, you just press it, and there you go. Not really impressive, But then again, it's a kid's toy, so it's a kid's toy, but the figure's sculpt is really worthy for an adult collector to, well, collect it. It's very nicely done. Let's take a look at the figure's articulation. The jaw can open and close, very nicely done. The head can actually turn 360 degrees and go side to side. You know, this very nicely done. Head barely go up and down though, but it can still go side to side, so it's still very nice. The shoulder here can also turn 360 degrees and spread the arms this far. Upper bicep here turn 360 degrees. The elbows itself is double jointed, it bend this far. The wrist there in this section turns 360 degrees, and the wrist here goes inwards and belly outwards. And there's finger articulation, but it's all in one piece of a joint itself, so it can close and open. Very nice. Now the torso itself, you can't actually bend backwards and you can actually bend forward a little bit. Barely able to bend backwards, but can turn 360 degrees. Now the hip joint here is a ball joint where the peg is situated in this direction, so you can move the legs forward or all the way back, or, well, if you want to turn 360 degrees if the arms is not hindering, as you can see there. And the hips here, the thigh here, can actually spread the thigh this far, and it has a swivel thigh that turns 360 degrees. Now it has a double jointed knee that bends all the way this far, very nicely done. And the shin here can actually turn 360 degrees. Ankle can go downward this much or upwards this much. And then the toe actually has an articulation that can bend all the way down like so or like that. Because the lizard here was meant to stand this way. It's very nicely done. Really love the amount of, well, the articulation is available on the figure itself. Too bad there's no articulation on the tail though, but it's still doable. The tail actually helps to support the lizard's standing pose like so. Very nice, and I really love the amount of details being put on the figure itself. Very detailed stuff. And it's a bit disappointing on the warp fin here, but what can I do? Let's try to use the lizard's gimmick and hit the table and see what happens. So the tail actually swung on the other way, so let's see. And there you go. Not much to play around with, not as much as the Scorpion's newspaper stand, but then again the toy is meant for 4 years old and up. So if I'm gonna give a rating out of this is absolutely amazing job. ToyBiz did a really amazing job on this figure. Really detailed stuff. Really love the amount of small little details being put onto the figure. Very nice, especially on the face sculpt. I really love this face sculpt, and I really love the extra articulation given onto the figure itself. But too bad that the head doesn't pivot up and down and the back doesn't pivot backwards. But it's still alright. It's still very good, and I really love the figure. So if I'm gonna give a rating of this, I would say I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It's really nicely done. So I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05, and I'm signing off.